Hello 8th grade. Today we're going to be printing the first prints from our block that we've finished carving. The setup that you're going to need today is a tray, 2 clean rollers, the ink color for your table that you choose, and newspaper underneath. It's also important that you bring over your printing square before you start inking your plate. To get started, I'm going to open up my paint tube and I'm going to put a little bit of ink in the center of the tray. I don't want too much ink. What we're looking for is about the amount of ink that you could fit onto a quarter. Every time you print your block, you're going to need to put down a new blob of ink. And one of the rollers is going to be a clean roller. One of my rollers is going to be a dry roller. It doesn't matter which one you use. So I'm going to start off by inking my plate here. And when I first start rolling out the ink, you're going to notice that the ink makes long stripes on your plate. I'm going to go side to side and up and down and keep spreading the ink across my plate. As I do this, those long stripes that started off looking like zebra stripes are going to become more of an even texture. Looks more like leather or snake skin. So when it starts to roll smoother and it's got that appearance of leather or snake skin, it means it's ready to be rolled onto your block. So I'm going to slide the tray out of the way here and bring out my block. So here is the block that I'm going to be inking today. The image is in reverse on my block. And today we're finally going to get to see it facing forward. So when I put the ink on the block, I'm being really careful to go all the way to the edge of my block. Don't worry if you get ink on your newspaper. The next student that prints at your station can put a fresh piece of newspaper right on top. I'm working quickly because as I'm working with this ink, it dries incredibly fast. This is a water-based printing ink, it's not oil-based. So if I don't work quick enough, the ink will actually dry while I'm doing this. Now I'm going to put my tray and my ink aside. This is why it's so important to have the paper with you because the ink is already starting to dry. So I'm going to line this up and I've got one shot to drop it there. This is where you need your clean roller. So using the clean roller, I'm going to ink all the way, so I'm going to roll all the way to the edge of my block. If you get a little ink on the back of your printing paper, don't worry about it. And then grab it from the corner. Time for the big reveal. And there we go. So now I finally get to see my image that I selected facing forward again. We're going to be making 8 of these prints. They go on the drawing rack when you're finished, but you're only handing in your best 4 to me. So out of your 8, you'll choose the 4 and we'll be mounting them later on this week. When it's time to print with a new color, you're going to take your block over to the sink and wash it under the water. Warm water, a little bit of soap. You can even use one of the toothbrushes at the sink to get the inks out of the groove. Wrap it up with a little paper towel and make sure it's fully dry before you take your block to the next station to print your next color.